Hey, what's up everyone and welcome. Today I'll be drawing Perfect Cell as he was fighting against Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. The original idea was to have him upset, angry, and powering up, about to do his final Kamehameha against Gohan, but I wasn't liking the way his face was looking, so I changed it to battle damage, didn't like that, and ultimately ended up with that smirk, because we all know how arrogant Cell is. Now regarding my process, I always begin by blocking out a silhouette, and then from there I begin to add all the values. It's my way to easily focus on what the highlights and the shadows are, not focusing or worrying at all about color, because here I'm just building upon my drawing, focusing on what the highlights and shadows are, what the values are, making sure there's a nice contrast between different areas, but always keeping in mind where the main light source is coming from. For this particular drawing, it's on the right hand side. Whenever I get to an area of a drawing where I'm not fully sure what I'm going to do, I always create a new layer and then draw upon that rather than draw on the exact same layer, because like I said, I'm kind of experimenting because I wasn't sure how I was going to shade that particular part. With the use of digital art, you have layers, use them. Now in regards to my process, I'm going from grayscale to color. The method I use is the use of gradient maps, which essentially changes all the white, grays, and the blacks to whatever colors you indicate in the gradient map. And with the use of a mask, you then control where it is at. Now onto my effects. I create a new layer and then I begin to draw what looks like random lines, but really I am visualizing how I want the aurora to look at the end, but with the use of the smudge tool, the blur tool, and the warp tool, you begin to angle the aurora how you want it to ultimately look, and then just lower the opacity to the desired amount so you get that look that you're going for. And then here I'm basically just repeating the exact same process, drawing the overall outline of the aurora and then using the smudge tool, then blurring it and then warping it to get to a point where I liked it. For whatever reason, I was really struggling with the aurora for Cell, so I'm experimenting in different directions, just different angles and different ways to try to get it to where I liked it. Ultimately at the end, you'll see I flip it. Now the way I draw lightning, you create a new layer and then with a pressure sensitive brush, you draw it and then you add a light blue outer glow, and there you go. Now I wanted to add a sense of depth to this drawing, so I added these rocks, keeping in mind where the main light source was at to get that effect that I liked. Now, like I said, I was struggling with the aurora, so what I ultimately did was flip it, and by simply flipping it in a different direction, I liked it a whole lot more. And then I just adjusted the lightning to coordinate with the new direction. Here's the final completed piece of Perfect Cell, and the total time it took to draw this was 8.5 hours. So tell me guys, what do you guys think? If you like it, why don't you give it a thumbs up? And if you're new here, why don't you consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss any new content that I put out every single week. And until the next video guys, goodbye.